police mourning a missing teacher.
She was the most pleasant neighbor you could ever ask for.
Winnipeg's homicide unit is investigating the death of a 73-year-old woman. Also tonight,
you can't spray the gay away.
How Pembina Pride is turning a bigoted act into its biggest moneymaker. And later, say cheese. How a Canadian classic is spicing up the dinner table.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Taylor Brock.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Garden City residents are reeling tonight over a shocking homicide case. The victim, a 73-year-old woman, is being remembered as a friendly neighbor and committed teacher. CTV's Harrison Shin reports.
A rainy day reflecting the somber mood on Primrose Crescent.
Lexi was good to her daughter. She was good to her neighbors, good to even her friends that she had.
She would come over every so often, even to watch a game. She'd come over, and no, I got nothing bad to say. She was the most pleasant neighbor you could ever ask for.
Neighbors of 73-year-old Lexi Smart are in shock. Smart was found dead in this block on June 8th around 8 p.m. according to Winnipeg Police.
They had forensics here for 2 days, and they were just coming in and out and I guess collecting evidence, and they did come talk to us. There were some detectives.
What started as a missing person case is now a homicide investigation. CTV News confirmed Smart's address as 7 Primrose Crescent. Her son answered the door but declined to speak to reporters. Ed Teplisky says Smart had just started work as a full-time teacher.
He was so excited. But nice to see. Lexi was never a person to be down or anything. She was always happy-go-lucky person.
Her neighbors say the loss will leave a big hole.
Keep coming out here, and because I used to see her sitting on her front porch, and I'd wave to her, and I think that, and just talking with her.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg police continue to investigate. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Homicide Unit or Crime Stoppers. Half a dozen schools in Thompson were evacuated today after a series of bomb threats. RCMP were sent to the schools, all of which are located within the city, to clear the buildings. In the end, the force says no suspicious packages were found. All the schools were closed for the rest of the day. An investigation is underway. However, so far, no arrests have been made. Additional RCMP units are being deployed to a northern community after a series of violent incidents Mounties blame on gang activity. Over the course of about 70 minutes early Friday morning, RCMP received 5 calls about escalating violence in Leaf Rapids. It included 3 reports of gunshots, one of which hit a house, 4 suspects stealing gas, and an abandoned home being set on fire. Then early this morning, RCMP say a 17-year-old boy was shot. He is now in hospital in stable condition. Anyone with information is asked to contact Leaf Rapids RCMP or Crime Stoppers. A new campaign is trying to entice Manitobans back across the border. Drivers in Winnipeg might notice a billboard from North Dakota Tourism highlighting its state as close to home. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, new data shows the number of Canadians traveling south may be on the rise.
Over the years, Christina Roberts traveled to the U.S. for entertainment and shopping.
Like different stores, yes, and concerts that might not come here.
But since Trump's second term, Roberts has no desire to cross the border.
I support the American people because I don't believe they all voted for that guy, but I mean, they're threatening us.
She's not alone. Throughout 2025 and early 2026, the number of Canadians traveling to the U.S. has been down. Now, this billboard around the corner from Roberts' house in Wolseley is calling on Manitobans to make the short trip to North Dakota.
It just makes me think that they're probably struggling financially right now, and especially border towns.
The marketing campaign Close to Home, Far from Ordinary is from the North Dakota Tourism Branch, and signs like this may be working. StatsCan data from April shows for the first time in 15 months, Canadian return trips from the United States are up 1.8% year over year. Canadian pride might not be the only reason people have been avoiding Fargo or Grand Forks. Fuel costs have likely kept people idle.
We expect to see a lot of local businesses marketing towards people right in their community.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says 86% of their members are worried gas prices will hurt local tourism within our borders.
That, big road trips may be off the agenda this summer as we see fuel prices continue to skyrocket. But that doesn't mean there's not an opportunity to support those local small businesses right in our community.
Those fuel expenses could drive Christina Roberts to stay put.
Everything costs more right now, so do I have money to go on a vacation? I have vacation time this summer, but I'm probably going to be at home.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
First Nations leaders are calling for urgent action to help repatriate a significant collection of Indigenous artifacts from a private collection in Switzerland.
Right now, time is of the essence. We need to get these back or they're going to be sold off. And, we don't want to see these items in some billionaire's building in Dubai or New York City.
Now, these items were formally displayed at a privately owned museum near Zurich and contain what leaders say are sacred and culturally significant belongings. The artifacts, which include ceremonial items, beaded regalia, and historical weapons, originated from Indigenous nations across Canada and the United States. The museum owner has since retired and is seeking 20 million Canadian dollars for the collection. Community leaders are raising the alarm in order to prevent the collection from being broken apart and sold at private auction.
And by bringing them home, that would reconnect our younger generation to the history of our people, and it'll bring back identity to who we are, and it'll help give a better understanding of our culture, spirituality, and our identity to our young generation.
The Swiss Museum is officially closed and the collection has been placed into storage while discussions about its future continues. The next show taking over Rainbow Stage isn't exactly a typical Sunday sermon. Rainbow Stage is putting the finishing touches on its summer rock opera, Jesus Christ Superstar. It's the first of two productions hitting the stage in Kildonan Park this summer. The Andrew Lloyd Webber musical follows the last week of Jesus' life as told through the eyes of Judas, exploring themes of fame, betrayal, and power.
Makes it look like a rock show, makes it feel like you're kind of at Folk Fest a little bit sometimes.
There is no speaking, but I don't think that you'll miss it because, the story is so clear through the choreography, the talent on stage, but it's definitely a rock show.
Jesus Christ Superstar runs Thursday, June 25th to July 12th. Tickets are available through the Rainbow Stage box office. And here is our first look at tonight's weather. It's currently 15 degrees, quite cloudy with some of that rain dropping, as you can see on the bit slick roads right now here in downtown Winnipeg with some lighter winds. Pressure is dropping, but humidity sitting at 98% because of that rain. We are expecting anywhere from 5 to 10 millimeters of rain to fall throughout the night, with 14 degrees being the coolest it'll get for us. Tomorrow morning starts off with 15 degrees and a chance of showers continuing throughout the day.
It looks like they were blatantly covering up the rainbow and the message.
A pride organization is turning hateful actions into a symbol of resilience. We'll show you how next. Pembina Valley Pride says a billboard in between Morden and Winkler was trying to share a message of belonging to its local LGBTQ+ community, but that message wasn't well received by everyone. Someone defaced the billboard, spraying black paint on it. But as CTV's John Hendricks shows you, the vandalism may have backfired.
Today, this billboard located between the communities of Winkler and Morden is advertising burgers, but over the weekend it was advertising something else: intolerance. The sign saying pride belongs in the Pembina Valley was spray painted over.
It doesn't appear that it's just graffiti. It doesn't look like it's just tagged. It looks like they were blatantly covering up the rainbow and the message.
Pauline Emerson-Frabe from Pembina Valley Pride says the vandalism just underscores why they posted the billboard in the first place, to let the LGBTQ+ community know they do belong in the area.
We're not going back in the closet. We want to reiterate to people that just because one or a few people made this statement doesn't erase the fact that you belong here.
Winkler Mayor Henry Siemens tells CTV News this is an unfortunate situation. I'm disappointed it happened. This is not who we are as a community.
If you don't like something, just keep it to yourself. You know, if don't go out and destroy something. It's like if I don't like my neighbor, I'm not going to go over to my neighbor's house and destroy their vehicle.
And if the vandals' goal was to silence their message, it doesn't appear to have been successful. Pembina Valley Pride has taken a picture of the defaced billboard and is now selling it on T-shirts, along with a slogan.
You can't spray the gay away, referring to the spray paint on the sign. And my goodness, if this isn't the biggest campaign most successful campaign we've ever had.
It's not how they wanted to promote their message, but as they say now, they're making lemonade from these lemons. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winkler.
Winnipeg police made 2 arrests yesterday in connection to a pair of separate homicides. The first is an update to an incident we first told you about yesterday. 55-year-old Ronald Alexander Grego Finley was stabbed Thursday and later died following what police are calling an unprovoked attack in Point Douglas. Police say a 37-year-old man was arrested shortly before noon yesterday near Main Street and Logan Avenue. He's in custody, charged with manslaughter. And 2 hours later, police and tactical units arrested a 28-year-old man in the William White neighborhood. His arrest was in connection to a fatal assault outside Salter Market Convenience on June 8th. The victim in that incident was identified as 34-year-old Kyle Christopher Desjardins. The province is continuing to make improvements to Provincial Trunk Highway 2. Work is being planned in the Westman region on a 22-kilometer stretch of the highway spanning from the west junction of the Provincial Trunk Highway 21 to 2 kilometers west of 250 near Souris. It's currently in its design phase. A shoulder restoration project is also planned for a 20-kilometer stretch along where the highway intersects with Highway 83. That project is expected to cost $350,000. Work is set to begin next year. The price to start repairs on Millennium Library Parkade have skyrocketed. A new report from the city's public service says the projected cost for the first phase of repairs has gone up by 56% since the last feasibility study 2 years ago. It's recommending the repairs go ahead but scale down to stay within the original $14.4 million budget. The repairs would extend the structure's life and give the city the opportunity to explore all future options, including selling it, which the public service now says has the best cost-benefit ratio. But Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says the city isn't in any rush to sell.
It's benefiting the city. We're making money on the parkade right now. It appears that if we do these structural repairs, we will continue making money for the next 20 years. We will see. You know, it's an underground parkade. A lot can happen in 20 years. A lot happens in the world above ground in 20 years. So we're going to reassess it.
The report notes as of last year, the city was making $1.1 million annually from the parkade. Councillors will consider the report Monday. Winnipeg Transit Plus is recommending several policy changes to increase accessibility. It's seeking to expand who qualifies for Transit Plus. The current policy is based on a medical diagnosis model, but the change would focus on those who are unable to use conventional transit some or all of the time due to physical, cognitive, and sensory abilities. The no-show and late cancellation policy would also be replaced with a new one, which focuses on clear expectations and education, while offering flexibility for unexpected situations. And the current two-bag policy would be eliminated, instead allowing customers to bring as many items as they can manage in their own seat space without interfering with other customers and mobility. The updates go to Council for consideration July 16th. And even more changes could be coming to Winnipeg's transit system. The Winnipeg Transit Annual Service Plan proposes a number of improvements for the 2027 budget. Among them, a direct connection to the Grace Hospital and shifting some morning trips to later in the day for higher passenger loads. This includes extra trips on Dalhousie and Killarney routes to accommodate higher evening demand from the University of Manitoba to Pembina Highway. Council is expected to review and prioritize the recommendations. The city has also launched a new interactive dashboard on its website to monitor network performance and help Winnipeggers better understand decisions. The city plans to end a pedestrian scramble pilot program in the Exchange District due to mixed results and the low number of people crossing. A pedestrian scramble means all lights at an intersection turn red, allowing pedestrians to cross in any direction. It was set up at King Street and Bannatyne Avenue a year ago. Based on public feedback, the public service says pedestrians generally said they felt safer, but many felt the intersection was already safe before the change. It also saw only about 2,000 people cross the intersection in a 12-hour period. Most pedestrian scrambles are put in place when there are 2,000 or more an hour. The public service concluded its report by saying it's unlikely there are any intersections in the city with enough foot traffic to warrant a scramble. A pair of Winnipeggers are about to head out on an amazing adventure.
Hi, I'm Sasha.
I'm Sebastien.
We are brothers from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and we're ready to take over this race. Sebastien is my...
That's right. The Métis brothers are getting set to take part in season 12 of the Amazing Race Canada. Sasha is a custom upholsterer and musician, while Sebastien is a realtor and skeleton athlete. They'll compete against 9 other teams, which include Miss Universe Canada 2020, Twin Sisters, and the godfather of Canadian hip-hop, Maestro Fresh West. The adventure begins July 7th in Whistler, BC, with one of the biggest twists in the show's history. You can catch it right here on CTV. Mounties are welcoming one of its newest recruits, how a 4-year-old from Brandon helped to make it happen. And cloudy and rainy will show you when to break out your lawnmower. Still to come in your complete Skywatch forecast. Tonight's Skywatch photo actually gives us a view into North Dakota. Thanks to Bob for sending this one here. You can send your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. Yes, we had a rainy day today. We'll have another one tomorrow, but there is some sunshine on the horizon. We'll chat more about that in a second. First, though, let's talk about when and where the rain is falling. We are seeing tonight across southern Manitoba, actually, those showers continuing to fall. Northern Manitoba tonight, fairly dry. However, that's going to change. Well, we are seeing that in northwestern Ontario. The system from the southwest here in Manitoba is going to push its way to northwestern Ontario by the time most folks wake up tomorrow and head on to work. So make sure you are maybe packing your rubber boots just in case. We are seeing, though, throughout the day, much of Manitoba, excluding just a portion of northeastern Manitoba, getting some scattered showers. Churchill, you are also expecting to see that. That's going to continue throughout the day and evening tomorrow. However, on Thursday, things are going to change a little bit. But if you are heading out to the Bomber game, you might want to pack along a raincoat. Taking a look right now, we are seeing it is foggy in Churchill with 3 degrees as your expected low. Tomorrow, we are hoping to see mostly sunshine for you folks with a high of 14 degrees. Thompson, you're going to be included in that stretch of rain across much of Manitoba tomorrow. That's going to include places like Flin Flon and the Paw, where temperatures reach a high of 23 degrees tomorrow. Moving to the southwest, we are seeing, just like here in Winnipeg, some showers falling. Brandon tomorrow, high of 19 degrees. with that rain continuing tomorrow for us here in Winnipeg as well, with 23 degrees as the high. Our neighbors to the south in Steinbach could be seeing a thunderstorm. And in Kenora, that rain tonight and tomorrow with a chance of a thunderstorm with 20 degrees as the high tomorrow. Looking at that 7-day forecast, as mentioned, make sure you are bringing along a raincoat with you to the Bomber game on Thursday, and Friday won't be a bad time to mow the lawn. A 4-year-old from Manitoba has helped name one of the RCMP's newest recruits. This is Cruiser with his mom, Woke. Harlan from Brandon suggested the name as part of the RCMP's Name the Fowl contest. Cruiser is one of the 9 fowls born this year at the Force's horse breeding farm in Ontario. Now, these horses are bred and trained for the RCMP's musical ride, parades, royal escorts, and other special events. The RCMP has been breeding its own horses for more than 80 years. And a father and son are calling foul after their FIFA tickets were taken away. The duo's words of caution for others hoping to score seats next. The World Cup has been considered a success so far, but there have been some issues with fans being frustrated getting tickets to games. The ticket trouble has been most prevalent on third-party websites where fans have been offered refunds instead of the seats they purchased. Here's CTV's Pat Forn and Consumer Alert.
It's probably a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see them play right at home.
Ron Studd of Toronto is a huge fan of Germany's soccer team, and so is his son. For a Christmas present, he decided to buy 2 tickets to see Saturday's match with the Ivory Coast in Toronto.
I'm a big Germany fan. I'm German. Obviously, my son's German. I have soccer tattoos.
Studd purchased 2 tickets using StubHub in December and paid $2,000 for them. But about a week before the game, he was told the tickets were not available.
The seller of the tickets would be unable to provide the tickets. They're basically forcing me to take the refund, I guess.
He has seen Germany play in a World Cup before and wanted his son to have the same experience. He doesn't want a refund and says StubHub should be able to get seats to the game as there were some available.
That's what I purchased. That's what I locked in for. That's what the gift was intended to be, tickets for myself and my son.
StubHub told CTV News many of the issues fans are facing trace back to the event organizers' technology infrastructure, newly announced transfer restrictions, and a new app launched just a month ago. Regardless, every order on StubHub is backed by our Fan Protect Guarantee, which provides alternative tickets or a full refund.
Stubb was worried he and his son wouldn't be able to see Saturday's match, but when CTV News got in touch with StubHub, they upgraded his seats and put him 10 rows closer to the action.
So in the end, Studd and his son were able to attend Saturday's game with 2 tickets worth about $6,000. Germany won the match with a big finish, and Studd says he and his son have memories to last a lifetime.
Thank you, CTV, for all the help and all the good work. Yeah, fantastic. I appreciate it. My son and I appreciate it.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A familiar face is returning to Princess Auto Stadium. Quarterback Drew Brown is leaving the Ottawa Redblacks and returning to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Now, through the trade deal, Ottawa is getting Winnipeg's 2026 first-round draft pick, with Ottawa throwing in their second-round draft spot for 2027. Brown was a Bomber from 2021 to 23 before being traded to Ottawa in 2024. Your late night cravings are about to level up when the mashup of your dreams is hitting Winnipeg shelves, and we'll break down tomorrow's forecast next.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, as we mentioned not too long ago, you can expect a rainy day for us here in Winnipeg. A little warmer with temperatures reaching high of 21 degrees at 5 o'clock. Imagine delicious ramen, but make it cheesy. Now, this is Kraft Dinner's latest and most unexpected mashup, Katie Ramen. It comes in 3 varieties and is set to hit store shelves across the country in July, but Before that, Katie is partnering with 7-Elevens in Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, and of course here in Winnipeg to offer up a first taste between June 25th and 27th. And on that note, that's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching and good night.